You sold me like a goat!
The entire Douala market went silent. Women stopped selling tomatoes. Men stopped bargaining for fish. Children stopped running. Everyone turned to look. There, standing in the middle of the muddy market ground, was a young woman in a torn dress, holding a bucket of cold water. Her hands were shaking. Her eyes were full of tears and rage. On the ground, kneeling in dirty water and shame, was an older woman. Her expensive wig was falling off. Her makeup was running down her face with tears. "Akoma, please," the older woman begged. But Akoma lifted the bucket higher. "This is for every night you made me sleep hungry," she said, her voice breaking. "This is for every beating. This is for selling me to that old man like I was nothing." She poured the cold water over her aunt's head. The woman gasped and cried out. People in the market pulled out their phones to record. Some were clapping, some were shaking their heads. Everyone knew this was a story they would tell for years. But how did it come to this? How did a simple village girl end up pouring water on her own aunt in the middle of Douala's biggest market? This is that story. And it started 6 months earlier, in a small village far from the city noise. The sun was setting over the small village of Bafang. Akoma was sitting outside her mother's small mud house, washing clothes in a basin. Her hands were rough from work, but she was singing softly. She was 17 years old, with bright eyes and a smile that made everyone in the village love her. "Akoma, Akoma!" Her mother called from inside the house. "Come quickly." Akoma dried her hands and ran inside. Her mother, Mama Efua, was standing in the doorway, her face full of excitement and tears. "What is it, Mama?" Akoma asked, worried. "Your Aunt Ngono is here, from Douala. She came in a big car." Akoma looked outside. There it was a shiny black car, the only car in their village. And stepping out of it was a woman in expensive clothes, high heels, and big sunglasses. She looked like someone from television. "Sister Efua," Aunt Ngono called out, opening her arms. Mama Efua ran to her, crying. The two sisters hugged for a long time. Akoma stood back, watching. She had only seen Aunt Ngono twice in her life. The woman had left the village many years ago to find success in the city. "Look at you," Aunt Ngono said, looking at the small mud house. "Still living here? Still so poor?" Mama Efua's smile faded a little, but she nodded. "Yes, sister. Life is hard, but we manage." Aunt Ngono looked at Akoma. "And this is your daughter? My God, she has grown so beautiful." Akoma smiled shyly. "Good evening, Auntie. Come here." Akoma came closer. Aunt Ngono touched her face, examining her like she was looking at a piece of fruit in the market. "How old are you now?" 17. "Auntie." "And school? Are you in school?" Akoma looked down. "No, Auntie. We cannot afford it. I stopped after primary school." Aunt Ngono shook her head sadly. Then she turned to Mama Efua. "Sister, this is not right. This girl is too smart, too beautiful to waste away in this village. Let me take her to Douala. I will put her in school. I will give her a better life. I will train her, make something of her." Mama Efua's eyes went wide. "Really, sister? You would do this?" "Of course. We are family. I have a big house in Douala. I have a textile business. I have money, but no children. Let me help your daughter. Let me give her the life you could not give her." Mama Efua started crying again, but this time from happiness. She fell to her knees. "Thank you, sister. Thank you. God bless you. You are an angel." Akoma felt excited but also afraid. "Leave the village? Leave Mama? Go to the big city? Pack your things," Aunt Ngono said to Akoma. "We leave tomorrow morning." That night, Akoma could not sleep. She lay on her mat, listening to her mother's happy breathing. Mama Efua was so excited, already planning everything. Akoma would become a teacher, maybe, or a nurse, or even a businesswoman like Aunt Ngono. But something in Aunt Ngono's eyes had made Akoma feel cold. Something was not right. But she said nothing. How could she? This was her chance. This was her mother's dream. The next morning, the whole village came to say goodbye. Women gave Akoma small gifts, a scarf, a bar of soap, a little money. The children held her hands and cried. "Don't forget us when you become rich," they shouted. Akoma hugged her mother for a long time. "Study hard," Mama Efua whispered. "Make me proud. This is your chance for a better life." "I will, Mama. I promise." Akoma got into the shiny black car. As they drove away, she looked back at her mother standing in front of the small mud house, waving and waving until she was just a small dot. Akoma did not know she would not see her mother again for a very long time. She did not know that the woman sitting next to her, smiling and promising good things, was about to become her worst nightmare. The drive to Douala took 6 hours. Aunt Ngono talked the whole time about her textile business, her big house, how successful she was. She bought Akoma food at a roadside restaurant, chicken and rice. Akoma had never eaten such delicious food in her life. "You see," Aunt Ngono said, smiling, "this is the life waiting for you in the city." When they arrived in Douala, Akoma's eyes went wide. The buildings were so tall. The roads were so busy. Cars everywhere, people walking fast, talking on phones, wearing beautiful clothes. Aunt Ngono's house was indeed big, a 2-story building with a high fence and a gate. Inside, everything was so clean, so fancy. Soft sofas, a big television, air conditioning that made the house feel like heaven. "This is your room," Aunt Ngono said, opening a door. But it was not really a room. It was more like a storage space. There was a thin mat on the floor, a small window high up on the wall, and boxes everywhere. "It is small, but it is clean," Aunt Ngono said. "You are lucky I even have space for you." Her voice had changed. The sweetness was gone. "Tomorrow, I will show you your duties." "Duties, Auntie? What about school?" Aunt Ngono turned around slowly. Her face was different now. Cold, hard. "School? School costs money. You think money falls from the sky. First, you must work to pay for your food, your shelter. Then we will see about school." Akoma's heart dropped. "But Auntie, you told Mama." "Your Mama is not here," Aunt Ngono snapped. "I am in charge now. You will do what I say, or I will send you back to that dirty village. You understand?" Akoma nodded quickly, tears filling her eyes. That night, lying on the thin mat in the storage room, Akoma cried silently. She wanted to call her mother, but there was no phone. She wanted to run away, but where would she go? She knew no one in this big city. She was trapped, and the nightmare had only just begun. Akoma woke up every morning at 5 a.m. She cleaned the entire house, all the rooms, the kitchen, the bathrooms. Then she cooked breakfast. Then she washed Aunt Ngono's clothes by hand. Then she went with her aunt to the textile shop in the market. At the shop, Akoma arranged fabrics, cleaned, carried heavy loads, served customers. She worked from morning until late at night. Her hands were cut and rough. Her back hurt. She was always tired. And the beating started. If the food was not perfect, Aunt Ngono beat her with a wooden spoon. If the house was not clean enough, Aunt Ngono beat her with a belt. If Akoma was too slow at the shop, Aunt Ngono pinched her arms until they were bruised. "You are useless," Aunt Ngono would shout. "I took you from nothing and gave you everything, and this is how you repay me?" Akoma ate only leftovers. Sometimes there were no leftovers. Those nights, she went to sleep with her stomach growling. She lost weight. Her bright eyes became dull. Her smile disappeared. One day at the market, a young man noticed her. His name was Sally. He sold fruits from a small wooden stand near Aunt Ngono's textile shop. He was about 18 years old, with kind eyes and a gentle voice. "Sister," he called to Akoma one afternoon. "Why do you look so sad?" Akoma was carrying a heavy roll of fabric. She looked at him but said nothing. "Here," Sally said, holding out an orange. "Take it. Free." "I cannot," Akoma said quickly. "My aunt will be angry." "Your aunt is inside the shop. She cannot see. Please, take it." Akoma looked around, then quickly took the orange. She had not eaten fruit in so long. The sweetness made her want to cry. "Thank you," she whispered. From that day, whenever Akoma came to the market, Sally would give her fruit. An orange, a banana, an apple. Small things, but they meant everything. One day, he saw the bruises on her arms. "Sister, what happened to you?" His voice was full of concern. Akoma pulled her sleeves down quickly. "Nothing, I fell." "Those are not from falling. Someone is hurting you." Tears filled Akoma's eyes. She could not hold it in anymore. Everything poured out: the lies, the beatings, the hunger, the broken promise of school. Sally listened, his face getting more and more angry. "This is wicked," he said. "Your aunt is a wicked woman." "But what can I do?" Akoma cried. "I have nowhere to go. I have no money. I cannot even call my mother." Sally thought for a moment. "Here," he said, writing something on a piece of paper. "This is my phone number. If you ever need help, you call me. You understand? Even if it is late at night, you call me." Akoma took the paper and hid it in her dress. For the first time in weeks, she felt a small spark of hope, but she had no idea how soon she would need to use that number. 2 months later, one evening, Aunt Nona was cooking in the kitchen, humming to herself. She seemed happy, too happy. "Akoma," she called. "Come here." Akoma came, nervous. When Aunt Ngono was happy, it usually meant something bad was coming. "We are having a very important guest for dinner tonight. A very rich man. He supplies fabrics for my shop. You will cook your best food. You will serve him properly. You will smile. You understand?" "Yes, Auntie." "And wear that blue dress I bought you. The one that fits nicely." Akoma felt uncomfortable. Aunt Ngono had never cared about how she looked before. Why now? That evening, a big black car pulled up outside the house. Out stepped a man who made Akoma's stomach turn. He was very old, at least 70 years old. His hair was completely white, his back was bent, but his eyes moved over everything like he was counting money. "Chief Mbaga," Aunt Ngono said, her voice sweet like honey. "Welcome, welcome. Come inside." The old man walked slowly into the house, using a walking stick. He sat heavily on the sofa. "Ngono, you said you have something special to show me," he said. His voice was rough, like gravel. Yes, Chief. But first, let me offer you food and drink. Akoma, come." Akoma came from the kitchen carrying a tray of food. She kept her eyes down, serving the food as she had been taught. "Who is this?" Chief Mbaga asked, leaning forward. "My niece, sir, from the village. She's staying with me." Chief Mbaga's eyes moved slowly over Akoma, from her head to her feet. She felt dirty under his stare. She wanted to run away. "How old is she?" 17, sir." "Beautiful. Very beautiful." He smiled, showing only a few yellow teeth. "Come closer, child." Akoma took a small step forward. Her heart was beating fast. "Turn around. Let me see you properly." "Chief, please," Aunt Ngono said, laughing nervously. "Eat first. We can talk business after." But Chief Mbaga was not looking at the food. He was only looking at Akoma. After dinner, Aunt Ngono sent Akoma to her room. But the walls were thin. Akoma could hear everything. "That girl," Chief Mbaga said, "I want her." "Sir, I want to marry her. I will pay you well. 5 million francs. Akoma's blood went cold. She pressed her ear harder against the wall. "Chief, she's just a village girl." "Exactly. Pure, untouched, young. I have 3 wives already, but they are all old now. I want a young one. That girl is perfect." "Chief, I will need to think about this. She's my sister's child. 7 million francs. There was silence. Long, terrible silence. Then Aunt Ngono spoke. Her voice was different now. Greedy, excited. "When would you want the wedding?" Akoma put her hand over her mouth to stop from screaming. No, no, this could not be happening. 1 month from now, I will start making arrangements. You prepare the girl. Yes, Chief. Yes, I will prepare her. After Chief Mbaga left, Aunt Nono came to Akoma's room. She opened the door without knocking. You heard, she said. It was not a question. Auntie, please. Akoma started crying. Please don't do this. I am only 17. He is so old. Please, Auntie, I am begging you. You are begging me? Aunt Nono's face became ugly with rage. I took you from poverty. I gave you food and shelter. And this is how you thank me, by refusing to help me when I need you. But Auntie, this is marriage. This is my life. Your life was nothing. You were going to rot in that village like your useless mother. Chief Mbaga is rich, powerful. You should be grateful. I don't want to marry him. Please, Auntie, send me back to the village. I will go back to Mama. Please. Aunt Ngono slapped her hard across the face. Akoma fell to the floor. You will marry him. You will smile. You will make me proud. If you try to run away, I will find you and beat you until you cannot walk. If you try to tell anyone, no one will believe you. You are nothing. Nothing! You understand? Akoma lay on the floor, crying, holding her burning cheek. Aunt Ngono left and locked the door from outside. For 2 days, Akoma stayed locked in that room. Aunt Nono brought her only water. No food. The hunger was terrible, but worse was the fear. She was going to be forced to marry a 70-year-old man. A man who already had 3 wives. A man whose eyes made her skin crawl. On the 3rd day, Aunt Ngono opened the door. Have you learned your lesson? Akoma nodded weakly. She was too weak to fight. Good. Now get up. We have shopping to do. We need to buy your wedding dress. 3 weeks later, the wedding preparations moved fast. Too fast. Chief Mbaga brought expensive gifts, gold jewelry, perfumes, designer handbags, all for Aunt Ngono. For Akoma, he brought only one thing, the wedding dress. It was beautiful white, with lace and pearls. But to Akoma, it looked like a prison. Every day, Aunt Ngono reminded her, smile, be grateful, don't embarrass me. Every night, Akoma cried herself to sleep. She thought about running away, but where would she go? She had no money. She knew no one in Douala except Sally. She still had his phone number, hidden in her small bag. But how could she call him? Aunt Nono watched her every minute. There were no phones in the house except Aunt Nono's, and she kept it locked away. One day at the market, Akoma saw Sally at his fruit stand. She walked past slowly. He saw her, and his face went pale. She had lost so much weight. Her eyes had dark circles. She looked like a ghost. Sister, he called softly. Akoma looked around. Aunt Ngono was inside the textile shop, busy with a customer. She walked quickly to Sally's stand. What happened to you? He asked, his voice full of worry. They are making me marry an old man, she whispered, tears streaming down her face. In 1 week, a 70-year-old man. I don't want to. I want to die instead. Sally's hands became fists. No, no, this is not right. This is evil. What can I do? I am trapped. Sally looked at her for a long moment. Then, he made a decision. Listen to me carefully. On your wedding day, you must find a way to call me. Any way. Even for 1 minute. You call me, and I will come. I will get you out of there. I promise. But how? Chief Mbaga is very powerful. His house will be full of security guards. How can you? Don't worry about how. Just trust me. Can you do that? Can you trust me? Akoma looked into his kind eyes. This boy, who had given her fruit, who had listened to her, who was now promising to save her. Yes, she whispered. I trust you. Good. Keep this. He pressed something into her hand. It was a small phone. Old. Cheap. But working. I bought it with my savings. Keep it hidden. On your wedding day, you call me, I will have everything ready. But Sally, why are you helping me? You don't even know me. Sally smiled sadly. Because everyone deserves to be free. Because what they are doing to you is wrong. Because. He paused, then said quietly, because I care about what happens to you. Akoma, Antingono's voice called from the shop. Where are you? Come here now. Akoma quickly hid the phone in her dress and ran back to the shop. That night, she hid the phone inside her mattress. It was her only hope, her only chance. She just had to survive until the wedding day. The day Akoma had been dreading finally came. Chief Mbaga's mansion was huge, even bigger than Antingono's house. It had tall walls, armed security guards at the gate, and a big compound filled with expensive cars. The wedding ceremony was in the garden. At least 200 people were there. Businessmen, politicians, chiefs, rich people. They were eating, drinking, laughing. To them, this was just another party. No one cared that the bride was 17 years old and crying. No one cared that the groom was 70 and already had 3 wives. Akoma sat in a room upstairs, wearing the white wedding dress. It was too tight. She could barely breathe, or maybe she could not breathe because of the fear. Antingono came in, wearing an expensive new outfit and gold jewelry. She looked at Akoma and smiled. Finally, she said, finally, you are useful to me. Auntie, please, Akoma tried one last time. Please don't make me do this. I am begging you. It is too late. Chief Mbaga has already paid me. The money is in my bank account. You are his now. So smile, walk down those stairs, and make me proud. She left, locking the door behind her. Akoma sat there, shaking. Downstairs, she could hear music starting. They would call for her soon. Her hand went to her small purse. Inside was the cheap phone Sally had given her. This was it. This was her only chance. With shaking fingers, she pulled out the phone and dialed Sally's number. He answered on the first ring. Sister? Sally. She was crying so hard she could barely speak. Please, please come now. Please help me. I cannot do this. I cannot. I am coming. I am already on the way. Where are you in the house? Upstairs. 2nd floor. But Sally, there are so many guards. How will you? Don't worry. Just be ready. When you hear people shouting, you run. You understand? You run to the back gate. My friend Yannick and I will be waiting there with a motorcycle. Okay. Okay. Please hurry. I will. Be strong. I am coming for you. Akoma ended the call and hid the phone. She went to the window. Below, she could see the guests. She could see Chief Mbaga sitting on a big chair, smiling his yellow-toothed smile. She could see Antingono talking to people, showing off her new jewelry. They were celebrating. Celebrating, selling her. Not anymore. 15 minutes later, she heard shouting from downstairs. Fire! Fire in the kitchen. People started screaming. Running. Chaos. Akoma's heart jumped. Sally had created a distraction. She ran to the door. It was locked from outside. She looked at the window. It was her only way out. She opened the window and looked down. It was too high to jump, but next to the window was a pipe that went down the side of the building. She had to try. She climbed out of the window in her wedding dress. The dress was so big and heavy. She held onto the pipe. Her hands were sweating. She was so scared. But she thought about Chief Mbaga's yellow teeth, about being his wife, about sleeping in his bed. No, she would rather die. She started climbing down the pipe. Her dress caught on something. She heard it rip. She kept going. Below, she could see security guards running toward the house because of the fire. She was halfway down when her foot slipped. She screamed. Her hands were slipping on the pipe. She could not hold on much longer. Then, suddenly, someone was below her. Let go. I will catch you. It was Sally. He had climbed over the fence. Akoma let go and fell into his arms. They both collapsed onto the ground. Can you run? He asked. Yes. They got up and ran. Akoma kicked off her wedding shoes. The dress was torn and dirty, but she did not care. Behind them, someone shouted, "The bride! She is escaping!" They ran faster. Sally pulled her through the compound toward the back gate. There, his friend Yannick was waiting on a motorcycle, the engine already running. But 2 security guards were running after them. "Go, go, go!" Sally shouted. Akoma jumped onto the back of the motorcycle. Sally jumped on, but one guard grabbed Sally's shirt. Yannick hit the gas. The motorcycle jerked forward. Sally's shirt ripped, and they were free. They sped through the gate. Behind them, they could hear Chief Mbarga screaming, "Find them! Find that girl! I paid 7 million francs. But they were already gone, disappearing into the crowded streets of Douala. Akoma held onto Sally so tight, crying into his back as the motorcycle weaved through traffic. She was free. She had escaped. But she knew this was only the beginning. Chief Mbarga was a powerful man, and Antungono would never forgive her. The war had just started. After the escape, Sally took Akoma to his older sister's house in a different part of Douala. Her name was Amina, and she was kind. She gave Akoma food, clothes, and a safe place to sleep. "You can stay as long as you need," Amina said. "My brother told me everything. What your aunt did was evil." For the first few weeks, Akoma was too scared to go outside. She thought every person who walked by was sent by Chief Mbarga or Aunt Ngono to find her. But slowly, with Sally and Amina's help, she started to heal. She cut her long hair short. She bought new clothes from the second-hand market. She looked different now, older, stronger. Sally helped her call her mother in the village. When Mama Efua heard Akoma's voice, she cried for 10 minutes straight. My daughter! I thought you were dead. Your aunt told me you ran away. She said you were ungrateful. But I knew something was wrong. I knew it." Akoma told her mother everything. About the lies, the beatings, the forced marriage. Mama Efua cried even more. "I am so sorry, my daughter. I sent you into the hands of a wicked woman. I am so sorry. It is not your fault, Mama. You did not know. But I am safe now. I am free." During these months, something beautiful was happening. Akoma and Sally were falling in love. Not the forced, ugly thing that Aunt Nono had tried to create, but something real, something pure. Sally enrolled Akoma in evening school. During the day, she worked with him at his fruit stand, learning how to run a business. He taught her everything: how to buy from farmers, how to calculate profit, how to talk to customers. Life was simple, but it was good. Until one day, everything came crashing back. Akoma was at the big market buying mangoes when she saw her. Aunt Ngono. But this was not the proud, well-dressed woman who had driven to the village in a shiny car. This woman looked broken. Her expensive clothes were gone. She was wearing a faded wrapper and old slippers. Her face was thinner, older. She was sitting on the ground, begging. "Please, just small money," she was saying to people who walked past her. "Please, I am hungry. Please." Akoma's heart started beating fast. All the memories came flooding back. The beatings, the hunger, the storage room, the wedding dress. She walked closer. Aunt Ngono looked up. Their eyes met. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Aunt Nyono's eyes filled with tears. Not tears of happiness, tears of fear. "Akoma," she whispered. People in the market started to notice. They stopped walking, stopped buying. A crowd was forming. "Auntie Ngono," Akoma said, her voice shaking. "What happened to you?" Aunt Ngono started crying. "Everything is gone. Everything. Chief Mbarga sued me. He said I cheated him. He destroyed my business. He took everything from me. My shop is closed. My house is sold. I have nothing. My own family in the village will not talk to me anymore. They say I am a disgrace." Akoma felt something strange in her chest. Was it pity? Anger? Both? "You sold me," Akoma said quietly. "You sold me like I was a goat in the market." I know. I was wrong. I was wicked. But Akoma, I was desperate. No man wanted me. I had no children. I was alone. I thought money would make me happy. But look at me now. She gestured at herself. I have nothing. God has punished me. The crowd was getting bigger. Sally had heard the commotion and came running. He stood next to Akoma, ready to protect her. What will you do? Someone in the crowd shouted. That woman tried to sell you. Beat her, another person shouted. She deserves it. Akoma looked at her aunt on the ground. This woman who had caused her so much pain. This woman who had broken every promise. She felt rage rising in her chest like a fire. She walked to a nearby water vendor. She took a bucket of cold water. She paid for it. Then she walked back to her aunt. The crowd went silent. Everyone was watching. Auntie Ngono, Akoma said, her voice loud and clear. This is for every beating you gave me. She lifted the bucket. This is for every night you made me sleep hungry. Auntie Ngono closed her eyes, crying. This is for locking me in that room. The bucket was over her aunt's head now. This is for selling me to that old man. Akoma, please. This is for breaking your promise to my mother. She poured the water. The cold water crashed down on Auntie Ngono's head. The woman gasped, sputtering, crying. Her wig fell off into the mud. People in the market cheered. Some clapped. Some were recording on their phones. Akoma dropped the bucket. She stood there, breathing hard, tears running down her face. All the pain, all the anger, all the fear, it was coming out now. I am not like you, Auntie, she said, her voice breaking. You wanted to destroy me, but I am still standing. You wanted to sell my future, but I built my own future. You have nothing because you planted wickedness, and wickedness always harvests suffering. She turned to leave. Sally took her hand, but then Akoma stopped. She turned back. But I am also not wicked like you. She reached into her bag and pulled out some money. She threw it on the ground in front of her aunt. Take this. Buy food. I will not let you starve, but I will never forget what you did, and I will never forgive you. She walked away, her head held high. Sally walked beside her. Behind them, Auntie Ngono sat in the mud and water, holding the money, crying. The crowd slowly dispersed, talking excitedly about what they had just seen. That video would spread on social media. People would share it, comment on it. Some would say Akoma was right. Some would say she should have forgiven completely. But Akoma did not care what they said. She had faced her demon, and she had won 3 years later. Akoma stood in front of her small shop, smiling. The sign above said, Akoma's African Fabrics, Quality and Kindness. She was 20 years old now. She had finished her secondary school through evening classes. She had saved money working with Sally and opened this shop 6 months ago. It was small, but it was hers. Inside the shop, Mama Ifua was arranging fabrics on shelves. Akoma had brought her mother from the village to live with them in Douala. Akoma, Sally called, coming up the street. He was carrying their baby daughter, Hope, who was giggling and reaching for her mother. How is my beautiful girl? Akoma took her daughter, kissing her forehead. They had gotten married properly 1 year ago. A simple wedding, just family and close friends. No expensive cars, no pressure, just love. Sally had expanded his fruit business. Now he had 3 stands in different markets. Life was not rich, but it was peaceful. It was honest. It was good. Did you hear the news? Sally asked, his face serious. What news? Chief Mbarga died yesterday. Akoma stopped. She felt nothing. No happiness. No sadness. Just nothing. How? Heart attack. He was alone in a small rented room. All his wives had left him. His children refused to see him. They say he died calling out for help, but no one came. Akoma held her daughter closer. She thought about that old man who had wanted to buy her, who had caused so much trouble. Now he was gone, forgotten, alone. May God have mercy on his soul, she said quietly. That night, as Akoma was closing her shop, she saw a figure standing across the street. It was Aunt Nono. She looked even older now. Her clothes were still poor, but she was not begging. She was just standing there, watching. Akoma looked at her for a long moment. Then she did something that surprised herself. She waved. Just a small wave. Not friendly, not cold. Just acknowledging that they both existed, that they both had survived. Aunt Ngono's eyes filled with tears. She nodded slowly. Then she turned and walked away into the evening crowd. Akoma went back into her shop, where Mama Efua was playing with baby Hope, and Sally was counting the day's money. Her family. Her real family. She thought about the girl she used to be 17 years old, scared, trapped in a storage room. She thought about everything she had survived. And she smiled. Because the best revenge was not pouring water. It was not violence. It was not bitterness. The best revenge was this: a good life. A free life. A life built on her own terms. She had won. Not because she destroyed her enemy, but because she refused to let her enemy destroy her. The moral lesson: evil people will always punish themselves. You don't need to carry hate in your heart. The wickedness they plant will grow thorns that hurt only them. But you plant kindness, hard work, and courage. And those seeds will grow into a beautiful life. The best way to defeat darkness is not to become dark yourself. It is to shine so bright that the darkness has nowhere to hide. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories.